There is a threshold inside the mind, not a metaphor, not a figure of speech, a precise neurological and philosophical threshold, a point at which the mind stops filtering reality through accumulated memory and begins experiencing it as genuinely open, genuinely malleable. Neville Goddard built his entire body of work on this threshold. He called it the state akin to sleep. The Mandukya Upanishad calls the same territory Turiya, the fourth state of consciousness, the witness that underlies waking, dreaming, and deep sleep. Most teachers in this space walk right past it. They talk about visualization. They talk about affirming. They talk about assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. And none of it is wrong, but all of it is incomplete without the one thing that makes it work: the state, not the technique inside the state itself. And here is what nobody is telling you. You already know how to enter it. You have entered it thousands of times. The problem is that you have been entering it unconsciously and leaving your most powerful creative moments completely unwatched. That ends here. The Mandukya Upanishad is 12 verses long. It is the shortest of the principal Upanishads and, according to the sage Gaudapada, the one that contains everything essential. In those 12 verses, the ancient Vedic framework identifies 4 states of consciousness, not as spiritual experiences reserved for monks, but as the ordinary recurring terrain of every human mind. Jagrat, the waking state, the mind engaged with the external world, filtering sensory information through the lens of past experience, habit, and assumption. This is where most people attempt to manifest. This is also why most people struggle. Svapna, the dreaming state, the mind turned inward, generating experience from its own imagery without the constraint of external input. Notice that. The mind generating reality from imagery alone, with no external evidence required. Sound familiar? This is the mechanism Neville Goddard points to when he says imagine and feel, but he is pointing to a specific state, not a general instruction. Sushupti, deep dreamless sleep. The mind dissolved into pure rest. No imagery, no activity, no sense of individual self. The Upanishad describes this as the state of bliss and unified consciousness, but it is also unconscious, unavailable for deliberate creation. And then Turiya, the fourth, the witness state, the state that does not replace the other 3 but underlies all of them simultaneously. Turiya is not a state you fall into. It is the awareness that watches all other states arise and dissolve. Pure creative potency. No content, no history, no inherited narrative about what is or is not possible. This is what Neville is navigating when he describes the state akin to sleep, not sleep itself. The threshold between states, the moment the filtering mechanism of the waking mind releases its grip and awareness stands in its own nakedness, before memory, before assumption, before the story of who you have been. Vedic philosophy spent 3,000 years mapping this terrain. Neville spent 40 years teaching Westerners how to use it. They are describing the same thing. And here is the practical consequence of that convergence. The reason your visualizations feel like effort, the reason your affirmations ring hollow, is that you are attempting to create from Jagrat, the waking state, which is saturated with the very assumptions you are trying to change. You are trying to plant new seeds in soil that is already full. Turiya is the empty ground. Here is the mechanism with precision. The waking mind operates as a prediction engine. This is not philosophy. This is contemporary neuroscience. The brain does not passively receive the world. It generates a model of the world based on prior experience and then compares incoming data to that model. What matches the model gets reinforced. What contradicts the model gets suppressed or explained away. This is why you can read every book, watch every video, and repeat every affirmation, and nothing shifts. Your prediction engine is more powerful than your intention. It takes your new thought and filters it through the existing model. The model wins. The state akin to sleep is the moment that prediction engine goes offline. In the hypnagogic threshold, the passage between waking and sleep, the brain shifts into theta wave activity. The critical faculty, the part of the mind that evaluates incoming information against stored belief, relaxes. The gatekeeper sits down. At that moment, imagery and feeling pass directly into the subconscious without resistance, not as instructions that get filtered, as experience that gets stored. Neville knew this without the language of neuroscience. He instructed his students to conduct their imaginal acts at night, in bed, in that drowsy state just before sleep. He was not being poetic. He was being precise. He was describing the exact neurological window in which assumption bypasses the prediction engine and writes directly to the operating system. The Bhagavad Gita approaches the same mechanism from a different direction. In the 6th chapter, Krishna instructs Arjuna in the practice of dharana, one-pointed concentration, as the necessary condition for the inner world to act on the outer. Krishna uses the image of a lamp in a windless place. The flame does not flicker. The mind does not waver between what is and what is desired. There is one image, held steady, in a space that has gone still. A lamp in a windless place. The prediction engine offline. The gatekeeper sitting down. Same mechanism, different languages, 3,000 years apart. What this means for you is specific. The quality of your creative work is not determined by the vividness of your visualization. It is determined by the state in which you visualize. A vivid image in the wrong state produces nothing. A simple feeling in the right state rewrites the model. This is why Neville said feeling is the secret. Not because feeling is magical in isolation, because feeling is the signal that tells you the imagery has landed below the level of conscious evaluation, that it has passed through the gate rather than bouncing off it. When you feel it as real, you are in the right state. When it feels like pretending, you are still in Jagrat. The prediction engine is running. You are arguing with the model instead of replacing it. So here is the application. Not generic, specific. The practice is simple in structure and demanding in execution. Most people fail at the second part, not because they lack discipline, but because they have never understood what they are actually doing. The window is the hypnagogic state, the 20 to 40 seconds after your body has relaxed completely, but before you lose awareness into sleep. Neville called it the state akin to sleep. Modern sleep researchers call it sleep onset. The Yoga Sutras of Patanjali call it pratyahara, the withdrawal of the senses from external objects. All three are pointing to the same instruction. Find the moment the external world stops competing for your attention and use that moment deliberately. Step 1. Physical stillness first. Not as a ritual, as a functional requirement. The prediction engine draws fuel from physical sensation and environmental input. The body must be genuinely still and genuinely comfortable before the threshold becomes accessible. This is not relaxation as a warm-up. This is relaxation as the mechanism itself. Step 2. One scene, not a sequence. Most people visualize stories, a montage of their desired life, one image bleeding into the next. This is waking state visualization. It is effortful, and it belongs to Jagrat. In the threshold state, the instruction to the subconscious is a single scene, a single moment, as if you are looking through a window at a specific instant in your desired reality. One image, held loosely. A lamp in a windless place. Step 3. Feeling confirms entry. When the image produces genuine feeling, not performed emotion, not manufactured excitement, but the quiet warmth of recognition, the feeling of something already settled, that is the signal that you have crossed the threshold. The image has been received below the line of the critical faculty. You are no longer imagining in Jagrat. You have entered Svapna, the dreaming state, with conscious intention intact. This is the practice Neville describes throughout his lectures. This is the mechanism the Upanishads map. This is the window that neuroscience confirms. And step 4, the one that is almost never named, is release. The moment you feel the image as real, the work is complete. You do not reinforce it. You do not repeat it. You allow sleep to carry it. The subconscious does not require volume or repetition. It requires one clean signal passed at the right moment through the open gate. This is why Neville's instruction to fall asleep in the feeling of the wish fulfilled is not a visualization technique. It is a delivery mechanism. Sleep is not where you stop the practice. Sleep is where the practice completes its transmission. Here is the landing. You are not failing at this because you lack belief. You are not failing because your vibration is wrong. You are not failing because you have not found the right technique. You are failing because you are attempting to create inside the one state of consciousness that is structurally resistant to new creation. The waking state, with its accumulated model of who you are and what is possible for you, was never the right territory. Every tradition that has engaged seriously with this question has arrived at the same answer. The Mandukya Upanishad identifies Turiya as the ground of all manifestation. Neville identifies the state akin to sleep as the creative threshold. Patanjali identifies pratyahara and dharana, withdrawal and concentration, as the gateway. The Bhagavad Gita's 6th chapter returns again and again to the still mind as the condition for reality to bend. They are not offering different solutions. They are drawing different maps of the same geography. Your mind, at the threshold of sleep, in the first moments of genuine stillness, with one seen and one felt sense of completion, is more powerful than any amount of waking effort applied in the wrong direction. The creative power was never missing. The state was. And now you know where to find it.